Live. So, no surprise, anybody. You just show me dance.
For the ladies.
Hold on, trying to figure out how to refresh YouTube. I want to make sure we're live on there. I'm pretty sure we are. I know we're live on Facebook. There's live on YouTube.
Mark, do you mind talking about your doors at some point here today?
Sure. Oh,
Okay.
there's that.
Thanks.
Okay. I'll do that in a sec. Okay. Good. All right.
Ready?
That's you.
All right, it's Friday again, everybody. Welcome to the Woodsmith Magazine shop. We're here on a nice quiet day after a pretty hectic week here in Des Moines, Iowa. And raise your hand up there if you thought that last night some of your plants were going to freeze, because it got pretty cold around here. Also, we've stepped down from red alert to more of like an orange or a yellow alert on the mountain lion here in Des Moines. So if you've seen one of those guys around, remember they're not pets. So anyway, we just want to go around and just give a recap of what's been going on. First of all, thanks to everybody who purchased the ruler accessories that Chris and Logan were talking about last week. We had an original set of 50 that sold out pretty quick, and then we sold another 50, so we're going to be working on that and continuing those. So if you're still interested in them, please click the order button over on store.woodsmith.com. So I think what we're going to do is go into the back shop, our little CNC skunk works, and see what Dylan's got working on back there. Follow along.
Sorry, John, I get your tail.
All right. Just go right through the door.
Mr. Wilson from Home.
What's going on in the magic window?
Don't touch my door. It says don't touch his door.
Oh, don't go through the door.
See his eyes. Hello everybody, welcome. I am working on a little side project right now that I kind of foolishly took on. I'm actually just trying to plane the old-fashioned way back here. I've got a nice piece of elm slab that I actually got from Logan, and I'm just going to use as a serving platter for a graduation party. So it's kind of an ambitious and probably over-the-top serving board. However, it's been a while since I got some hand tools out. Typically I will use power tools wherever I can to kind of make my work a little more efficient. So I've been going at this thing for probably the better part of an hour now, just doing the one side. Once I get this smooth, of course, I'll start working on the next side. I kind of went between doing the hand planes, and then we have the luxury of having a drum sander here, but it's a little large for the drum sander and a little unwieldy. So I'll probably just kind of continue at it with the hand planes, and then once I get it finally flat on both sides, I've got some epoxy holes to fill, and I've got a little trimming to do because I've got some cuts here. This was actually, was it a crotch piece that you had?
Yep.
So Logan actually cut the other part off, so this is almost, in a sense, book matched on the other side. I've got some plans to do maybe a base or some very small feet for it. I hopefully should have this thing wrapped up. Well, actually it has to be wrapped up probably before you guys will be able to see it next, but I'll probably end up bringing it back in after the graduation party so we can check back in maybe in a couple weeks. So other than that, just kind of brainstorming for the next upcoming issue. I know you guys saw the shaker boxes I was working on. I've got a apothecary or pharmacy cabinet, which is going to be another project for 245. So look forward to maybe some drawings or renderings and even maybe some prototypes for that next week. So thanks for checking in with me.
Okay, thanks, Dylan.
All right, Mark.
Should I come on outside?
No, we're good.
Right here. Okay, so this week I've been back to my building doors, not quite elaborate as the oak door, so we're trying to soundproof this CNC room to keep the noise in and give us a little bit of peace and quiet in the rest of the shop. So constructed this door, got another one to go in there. It's going to be French doors. All this is just 3 layers of plywood, MDF, just some scraps that we found around the shop. Just constructed that out and then having some glass put in here next week, and hopefully get this all soundproofed and we're good to go. So that's what I've been working on this week.
I like how the doors went together so quick, like that the flat doors.
The flat doors, just plywood, MDF, just nailed and glued together. I mean, just pretty simple construction.
Yeah, you can see the
They're not
layers in there.
the prettiest looking things, but they're
But
going
for a
to do
quick
the job,
door.
and they're perfect for a shop. So with a bit of paint, we're good to go.
Yeah,
Yep.
looks nice.
Finally got the workstation wrapped up. If you want to go through and see that.
Sure.
We looked at that.
You looked at it last week?
Yep, I think you're gone.
Okay, so that's good.
What's the next project you have?
Do you know what? I'm waiting for the designers to design me something to start building. So Dylan and Chris,
It's not me this time.
get on it. So I think it's going to be, what's it going to be the next issue? There's going to be a,
Chris is working on a model train.
there's going to be a train, model train, medicine cabinet, kind of freestanding medicine cabinet,
I think like a
bookshelf.
stand of some sort, yeah.
So as soon as those guys get me the plans for those, I'm going to start building them. So
Cool.
that's all I've got for you this week.
All right.
Okay,
What are you
and
working
I
on?
was kind of hoping that by this time I would have been able to have my rockers attached on my rocking chair and be able to flip it upright and show it to you. But some other stuff got in the way and I haven't been able to get to it. But one of the things that I did want to show is, again, I've been trying to pre-finish everything, so I had the rockers cleaned up, chamfered the edges, smoothed them all out, and then sprayed them with lacquer. So the arms of the rocking chair are attached. What I had to do is cut the legs front and back to match the curve of the rocker, which with the subtle curve that it is, these are essentially pretty flat. So I've been working on, I cut those by hand and then been tuning them up with files and sandpaper and trying to know that point when you just let it go and just finish it and attach it. So hopefully later this afternoon I'll be able to put the screws on it and attach it. One thing that I did want to point out is a lot of the detailing that I've done on the rocking chair, including this front edge of the arms, I did with a block plane. You know, I'll rough out some of it with a bandsaw, but just using my block plane to do a lot of the shaping. Of course, the big thing, especially when you're working with white oak, is making sure that you have a nice sharp blade in there. So this works as a very subtle, not so subtle segue for my sharpening seminar that I'll be doing next week on Thursday. It'll be 11 o'clock here Central Time. We'll talk about all things sharpening, and you can sign up for that over at woodsmithshop.com/seminars. And you'll see our whole range of other seminars that we have coming up and the ones that we have in the past. So that's what I've been working on. Hopefully next week, this might even be out of here as I'll have it done, and then I just got to figure out if I can cram it in my little car and bring it home. So, John, you got a little project you're working on?
Just a slab of wood right now.
Yeah.
It's a lovely slab of wood. Would you like to show it?
Sure.
All right, so that means I'm taking camera.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to the other side of my head. There we go.
So about a week ago, my longtime neighbor, Vi, she's 93 now. She's lived next door to us for as long as I've been there, so about 15 years. She's moving into assisted living, and her children were cleaning out her house. They know I'm a woodworker, and they found some chunks of walnut that their dad had stored away up in the garage. They said they'd probably been up there for 30, 40 years, that he'd been saving it for something special, and apparently that something special never happened. So they handed the wood off to me, so I felt kind of responsible for this walnut that they gave me. So I decided to make a little stool. One of our plans, it's the handy shop stool, I believe, from Shop Notes. But so I've glued up a slab here, cleaned it all up for the seat, and I've got the legs cut out. So hopefully I can do that on video and build that shop stool and put it up on YouTube so you can all see it. But this is what I have so far. I think there's about 6 pieces of wood here, all glued together, but turned out pretty well. Looks nice, so I can make a nice seat. So we'll let you know on the progress as that continues.
I will say, I use a lot of walnut, and that's a nice walnut.
It is.
It's
It's well
well
aged, I think.
Yeah.
So, and you guys know how much I love walnut, so this is gonna be really fun to work with. So I'm excited. So.
All right. And Phil, I see one thing back there
One thing
that maybe you could tell me where it came from. It's that sweet little stool back there. Do you know what that's from?
This one is, I feel like this one was a tip for a project from Workbench Magazine.
Gotcha.
So it's made out of MDF.
Lots of wheels.
Well, that's what I saw. I noticed that there were 6 casters on
This
it.
was probably
Which-
designed by somebody that had a 4-wheeled the little shop stool that kept tipping.
Well, that's what I was. I was looking at it as you guys were talking to Mark, and I'm like, you know what? I bet you my boys could not tip that one over,
Yeah.
which
It would be
seems like
pretty
a great idea.
Plus being MDF, you know, it weighs a solid, 25 pounds or something.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I believe that was I'm pretty sure it was a Workbench one. Don't quote me on that. If I
Good.
find it, I'll post a link for it.
Yeah. No, I just thought it was kind of cool, so thought we might show it.
Yeah.
So
You got anything?
yeah, sure. I have somebody wants to take the camera.
I'll take the camera again.
Take the camera back. Get it. That camera weighs a metric ton. So for the last couple weeks, I have been playing with some wood stabilizing, which has been super fun to do. And I finally got to mess a little bit with some colored blanks. So these are some hard maple blanks that I had stabilized with a product called Cactus Juice, which is a acrylic, I believe it's an acrylic stabilizing resin that is able to be dyed. So you can dump a bunch of dye into the resin, throw your blanks in there, and either let them naturally soak up the resin. If you're doing a 2-color one, you would soak up the resin, cure it, and then put it in a vacuum with a different color. Which is what I did with these. I did an emerald green and an Aztec gold. And being hard maple, it didn't soak up as much color as I was expecting. But it still is kind of cool. I got to do something I've wanted to do for a long time, and that is turn a game call. And I know everyone's going to say this is a duck call, but this is actually a rabbit call. It's a predator call, which ironically we have a large predator running around Des Moines in the form of a mountain lion. But kind of a cool little process, and maybe I can convince the powers that be to let me do some game call turning article at some point, which would be kind of fun. So maybe play with some acrylic or something. So that's what I've been working on the last week or two. I now have a batch of new pens at home. I have a new shaving kit, which I've been needing, obviously. I might make John one too, because it looks like he might need one as well. So that's what I've been doing. It's a fun article. It'll be coming out in issue 244. 244 is what we're working on. I always look at Phil, because Phil always knows what we're doing. I don't always know what we're doing. So check it out. And if you don't get the magazine, check out our Woodsmith Unlimited subscription. We just released a Woodsmith Unlimited membership, which gives you access. Phil can correct me if I'm wrong, because Phil knows everything. Gives you access to magazine subscription, back issues, video edition, SIBs. I don't remember if SIBs are on there.
Plans.
But plans, yep. So
plans and our online education classes. So we have our Table Saw Basics class with James Hamilton from Stumpy Nubs Woodworking Journal. Nancy Hiller's Building Kitchen Cabinets class, which is super cool.
Yeah.
And then the one that I did on router table basics.
Which, giving access to the online classes in of themselves would pay for the unlimited. So it's kind of cool. You basically
We're practically paying them.
You're
to get Woodsmith
basically
Unlimited.
yes, exactly.
They're making money.
So that's what I had. So I want to mention the Woodsmith Unlimited. So kind of a cool little thing we started releasing recently, last couple weeks. So kind of cool.
Are you gonna demonstrate your rabbit call?
Sure. You want me to demonstrate a rabbit call?
Yeah.
So it's a dying rabbit, unfortunately, to call in predators. John's laughing at me, but it would work. We probably have a mountain lion that is now charging
door.
our shop.
I think something's at the
door
door.
is shut. So that's what I have going on. Maybe next week will be duck call.
Yeah, maybe a duck call. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate you writing in any comments and questions that we have on there. So we saw the comment about maybe doing a beverage cart, and the stool was a good idea. Update for Pam on the coat tree. I've done a little bit of work on it. I'm starting to work on some of the other parts. So you can tell your friend that progress is moving on, and probably this time next week you'll see a lot more of it. So stay tuned, everybody. Also, please join us at the Woodsmith shop on PBS, on your local television, public television station. It's always great to hear from people who are watching the show and building the projects from it. So if you don't see it on your public television station, feel free to call in. We're working on season 13 and probably wrapping up filming of that one in the next month or so here. So be on the lookout for that. We'll do some sneak previews of what the projects are going to be for that season, which will be airing sometime this fall. So we'll see you next time, everybody.